Hello YouTube. It's Monday the 31st of January and it's about just gone 10 in the morning, and I've been looking at what I've sold. Sold 15 things over the weekend, which is nice, and some of it's quite high value and some of it isn't, but I've been clearing out my car from what I bought yesterday. Had a pretty good couple of car boots, so I thought I'd show you what you got. I might have to clip this together, or I might just flip around as part of the recording. I'm going to flip you around and show you what I've got in my haul, because I've basically got a room in my office at the moment. I'm in the middle of wrapping, but also I've got a pile full of death stuff on the table, death pile stuff, which ought to be listed before this, but is not going to be, because this is a better value stuff, and it's always about, for me, currently, it's about low-hanging fruit and getting good value for money out of what I've just spent. And yeah, there is some really good value here. So I'm going to start with the small stuff that I bought, and then move on to what I'm holding back for you to see in a bit. So here goes for spinning it round. I think I might have to stop it and then start it again, actually. Yeah, spin it round, and here we are with the first couple of purchases. These were all £1 each at the first Carboot. That brass jug, I honestly thought it was one of the more sought after versions of the snakeskin version, but if you look at the handle, it's rather crude, and in fact it looks like it's actually copper, but it is a brass pipe, and underneath there is a marking, but it's not the marking it should be. Never mind, only cost £1. I'm sure I'll still make money on it. It's not going to make me 30 or 40 quid though. These were £1 each, and I asked her for 3 for 2, and she said yes. It's a pretty straightforward calculator, vintage solar desktop normal calculator. Won't fetch much, actually. The fact it's in a box a collector might be interested, I don't know. Smurfs, yeah, right, I know. They'd probably go away in a cupboard, actually, unless I see a really good rise in value. I keep saying to myself I should put some of the more interesting collectibles away. Anyway, this little thing here that you just saw the top of, I'll save till later. Right, next, same car boot, one of the inside stalls. Place I go to, it's got, how could you describe it? It's like, this is the first one. There's a paddock, and then there's a load of pig sheds. And this was inside one of the older guys at the pig sheds. Gave me these, well, sold me these 3 things. First one's a Woody. He says £4.50 working, and everything works on him. He's a little bit worn, but if you look, the lights actually flash, the wings work, they all fold in, his arm moves when you just hold, bear with me, I can do it with one hand. His arm moves if you want him to salute. There you go. So there's Woody, not Woody, Buzz. Crossword solver, £3, and Mr. Potato Head, £2. Well, that comes to £9.50, and I asked him for a bit of discount as I was buying 3 items, and he came back with £7.50. So yeah, I wasn't going to grumble. I'm not sure about the price of Woody at the moment. Buzz at the moment. These are going for over £30 working. I haven't taken the battery back off yet. That could be a big reveal later on, that it's all corroded. But I'll let you know later in the video. I might just clip a bit in. And then there's Mr. Potato Head. With all the bits, by the look of it. I don't know what it's got all the bits, but it's meant to have 35 pieces, and there's about 6 or 7 attached to the head as it is. I've actually got a bucket full of other pieces as well. So that wasn't a bad little investment, really, for £7.50. Then comes some controllers. They're all third party. PS3 controllers, 2 wireless ones, just standard really, and that white one. They were £2 each, and that was £1. So pretty good really. I'm on to the next Carboot now. One of the first things I saw in the next Carboot was this, and it says Sony on. So I was immediately interested, because I do like my Sony stuff, mainly because it's reliable and people still want it, even if it's a few years old. This is a Bluetooth speaker. It's got some, I don't know whether you can see those, but there's, there you are, buttons on the back. Well, this is the back, and it's an XB01, SRS XB01. You can't read it, it's too dark. Anywhere from 15 to 20 quid, depending on whether it's new or not. Shown working, I can get it working. It's just a matter of charging it up. There's a little charge port there, and an earpiece entry, so you can have auxiliary inputs, which is pretty impressive actually for a thing that size. Don't know what they sound like, but you know, they're fetching good money. And that was, did I say that was £2? That was £2. Didn't say it. At the end of the first Carboot, just as I was leaving, the guy who sold me the computer that you may have seen on my Instagram, the Tatung Einstein, he actually threw in a Commodore 64 power supply, but it looked a bit very ancient and untrustworthy. Haven't listed it yet. It's going to go spares or repairs untested anyway. He also threw in data cassettes and the manual and a joystick, which sold all of those. And he said to me at the time, oh, he says, I've got some games for the Commodore. He says, you can have them when I see you next. I'll put them in the car. Anyway, buttonholed me and he said, I've got these games for you. So, oh, all right, okay. Thanks very much, like. And I'll show you what he gave me. Carrier bag full. Well, it's not full. First thing out is Commodore 64 Zin Salabim. Frogger 64. Sprite Man for the Commodore 64. That just looks exactly like Pac-Man. Then there's Ninja Master. Mission Elevator. Have no idea about that one. Popeye. Daley Thompson's Super Tests. Those are ones that, you know, I wasn't really aware of because I had a Spectrum when I was younger. But I did have these. Horace Goes Skiing and Hungry Horace. I think I'll sell those as a pair. And then this is the weirdest one. Weetabix versus the Titchies. I've already looked that up and it's worth quite a bit of money. I might even get £15 for that one on its own. Anyway, those 10 games for free. And I said to him, do you want some money for them? And I was happy to give him a few quid. And he says, oh no, I promised you them. There you are. You can have them. Fair enough, mate. Thank you very much. Okay, so when I was at the second Carboot, those I got at the second Carboot, I went along and I always, as I said to you, I'm looking for the more expensive, larger items now. So I got about as far as I could away from my car. I was parked at the entire opposite diagonal from where this guy was, and he was much more on the market side of the second car boot. He had some hi-fi gear, and when I say some hi-fi gear, everything that was coming out of his vehicle was hi-fi gear. I walked along to a boxed Hitachi item, and I started opening, and he says, "Oh no, this guy's already bought that." And this guy was just handing over £25, and it was a proper full system in its box, all taped up as though it was new. They'd opened it and had a look at it. So £25. I was quite gutted until I walked further along the stall, and he's laid out probably 24 systems. Some of them a bit dodgy, some of them are in parts, some of them, well, he's got loads anyway. So my first look at was, well, actually, I started looking at this Technics receiver tuner. It says it's a quartz synthesizer, long wave, medium wave, FM stereo tuner. And I've had this sort of thing before, and it fetched decent money for, if I was to buy that for a couple of quid or £3, whatever. So it was stacked on top of this other system here. The speakers had their grills on. They're not as nice looking with the grills on, quite honestly. There we go. One. And two. As you can see, they're not as nice looking. But he says to me, you can have that stack. And he meant this thing on top as well. This. And this. And I said, oh, it's all working, is it? Oh, yeah, everything I sell is work. It's all been tested. It's all pack tested. So I said, how much do you want? And he says, 20 quid. So I was a bit umming and ahhing. I was intending to maybe buy that for a £5. And then I looked up the number. I can't read it. The phone's not focusing. There you go. SCCH550. And it seems to be selling quite well. And the ones that are selling aren't selling with speakers. So I'm thinking, oh. Anyway, I detached one of the grills and it looked really clean. Well, a bit dusty, but not damaged or anything. So I said, all right, I'll be interested in that. So I handed him a 20 over. And don't forget, it included that tuner there. So I'm thinking £5 for that, £15 for this. Not bad at all. And he says, oh, I'll give you the prices of the others. So I started looking at the others and I said, how much is this one? And he says, oh, that one's a tenner. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll go and get my car. I'll drive it right round behind all the other stalls and I'll park behind you. And that's what I did. So he said to me, the next one's a tenner. That's this one. It's an Iowa CD, cassette, radio, power supply and amplifier. What it doesn't have is you can get a mini disc version of this Iowa that sits on top as well. But you don't have to have the mini disc version. It all works without it. And there's some grills there. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with that. But I said to him, how much is this one? And he said, I'll tell you what, that's a tenner as well, but you can have both for 15. I'm like, oh really? So that's no, sorry, no, yeah, that one was 15.
and that was a tenner. And he said he could have both for 20. So that was, I'd spent 40 with him to get 4 pieces. And then he sold me this one for a tenner as well. This is actually cassette player, CD player, radio tuner, amplifier. That's all one piece, but everything else is a separate system. Yeah, and the speakers as well. Every single one of them have their matching speakers. This is the only one where the grills don't come off the front. The Sanyo, it's a little bit cheaper looking, but it's clean, tidy. Hopefully they'll all work. I don't have to worry too much if they don't work. Well, not so much the floor as the top of this box will do. Right, so Crash Team Racing, he charged me £2 for that. Wii Sports, £1. I actually bought 7 discs off him, and it came to £8, but that will cover all of them. So that's good. Then there was PS1, Scooby-Doo the Cyber Chase. I've tested that, that's fine. Grand Theft Auto. Not Grand Theft Auto 1, because there wasn't a 2 at the time. It's the top-down version that's based in Liberty City. And it's fun but slow. When you're used to, you know, driving and seeing out the front of the car or whatever. Then there was PlayStation 1 version of Final Fantasy VII. 3 discs. Haven't tested that yet, but I will. It should be fine. Then there was Resident Evil Dead Aim, which I have played for about half an hour last night, and that's working fine. And I'm going to skim it because there's indications of the start of laser burn on that one. And this one, which has got some laser burn on, but I thought I'd take a chance on. These were all actually in very wet containers. I've cleaned them off, dried them off, and put them in my own. And that was Lego Harry Potter years 1 to 4 on the 360. I should be able to skim that with me JFJ, and it'll clean up. So there could be as much as 50 quid's worth there. And that cost me 8. So I was quite pleased with that. So in total, I spent £80 for this lot. £50 on the hi-fi gear for the 4 systems and the tuner. There we go. And I hope to make over 500 back from this lot without any trouble, actually. Oh yeah, before I forget, I also got these 2 cameras for £1 each. Olympus AZ200 Super Zoom. There we go. Multi-8 autofocus. And a Fuji FZ500 zoom. They're both 35mm. They both take weird camera batteries, CR123s and CR2s. I do have a supply in the garage. I'll test them out later. As it supplies £1 each from the lady with the jug. Not a problem. Whether they work or not really for that price. Oh, and I also got my screwdriver out, so we're gonna have a look at the back of this. Just bear with me a second. I'm gonna take the back off. It's only the screwdriver bit. No, it's not coming.
Ah, screws there. Don't want to lose that. Right, let's have a look. Oh dear. Okay. So that needs a bit of a clean up before I even test it. I might do another couple of minutes video once I've cleaned it up and put some batteries in to see whether it works. So, crossword solver wasn't working. Batteries had leaked, Duracells even. But it's surprising what toothbrush, a little bit of sandpaper can do with a bit of alcohol. There you go, a lot cleaner, tidy. And I'll put the batteries in. That one goes that way. That one goes that way. That goes on there. LCD, I think that's fine. Off. On. Welcome to the Oxford Crossword Solver, the ultimate reference for playing and solving your favourite word games. I think we can happily say that that's working. I think it'll go on and on and on with the demo mode if I let it. So that's going back in its little bag. I'll probably take the batteries out once I've photographed it for listing, and that'll be on eBay later on today for probably $32.95. Yeah, there's the box, there's the manual, it's got the packaging, in it goes. And that'll be, they're in demand actually. The last one I sold I got £35 for, I believe. But yeah, $32.95 plus delivery. I'm aiming for on that, and it says £3, but actually it was less than that because I got the discount on the 3. So anyway, little summary from my weekend. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, you can always like and subscribe.